Hello, crafty friends, and welcome. Thank you for joining me today. Today's is kind of special because it's the last one of the ABC journal. We're going to be using letter Z for zippers. So you can see I have some zippers here. We are going to be using these to make closures for our journal, ABC journals. I'm going to be using these zippers, right, for these closures. Let me take you through it. Okay, so here is the zipper. It goes all the way around, as you can see, and I did add some bling to it, and you can see the closure we're going to be using right there. And the nifty thing is the zipper actually works. You can go all the way around this journal, opening the entire thing. Isn't that cute? I mean, so it totally gives you a different look, just like that. And then the back is still closed, of course, because I didn't go all the way around, but still, you can get different looks based on these. Okay, so yeah, there's the pink one. I'm going to show you the other one. This one I did with the gold, and you can still see the closure right here. You just unhook this, okay, and it comes completely off. Got an extra string there hanging out. Goes all the way around. It does move a little bit, gives you some extra room. And I put a chain so that as you add stuff to your journal, it can expand. Your closure can expand with it. Okay, so you just move it up. All right, let me show you this one. Now this one is the zipper on it was quite large, and it left a little gap whenever I created this one. That's okay for me, but you may want to use a smaller zipper here, the tong thing piece, to not get this right here. But look, this is gorgeous. I love this closure. Can you guys see the bling in there? I'm not sure if you can. Okay, and again, it has this hook clasp. I guess it's a hook. I'm not sure if that's called a hook or not. And it just, try it again. Okay. Got to get my fingers. Okay, so I'm going to grab it from this side and open it and just slide it off the chain. And then it just completely comes off. So just looks like that, completely off. One long piece, okay? You could glue it on, or you could sew it on if you prefer. And again, the whole zipper opens up. So it creates a unique look depending on which one you want. Okay, so let's get started. Let me show you how to do one. Okay, we're going to be doing this journal. You will need some supplies. So you will need a couple different kinds of pliers. I got this in. You're barely going to use this, and it's just going to be for the jump rings. This one is the one I'm going to be using the most, and that's just for the bling and to put on the ribbon crimps. Okay, for the bling part, I just use these things that have, hopefully you guys can see those. Hold it. Can't really see them. They have prongs, or like they were called different things. You know, back in the day, we used to call these the bedazzler, and these were called jewelry. Um, oh my gosh, my brain's not working. Anyways, I'm sure you guys have seen these. They have like little tongs in them, and I will link them below so you can find the right name for them, because there were so many names for these things, depending on what you were going to use them for. If you're using them for leather, they called them something even different. So they called them rivets for leather. But anyway, sorry, got off sidetrack. I got a whole bunch of them. So we're just going to be using these. Yeah. And then I bought this kit for just for this project. Because it had everything I needed, and I wanted to see what kind of price tag it had. This was $14, and it comes with this case. Okay, and I will link up above. I will link it to this. Hopefully I will remember, cross my fingers. But it has different piece sizes. Okay, so that's what was important to me, because I was not sure what size my zipper was going to be, guys. So let me show you. This one I got this is the big one, and that's what we're going to use. It's 1 inch. Okay, but then they have different sizes. As you can see, that one's slightly smaller. Even down to this itty bitty. I'm gonna call it itty bitty. This little one that's really cute. Um, yeah, there's so many in here. I'm gonna be using all of these, but these are also great for the tops of your tags. I use these for the top of my tags sometimes, and I use them whenever I'm making dangles and things of that nature. Okay, but the reason why I got this particular kit was because it also comes with these hooks, which we are going to use. Let me see my hooks. And these are the jump rings, but the special bonus was these chains. I didn't even know these came with it until I got it. These chains are great for helping your journal to expand. Okay. And you can even use a jump ring and make these chains as long as you need them to be. So this quick kit was perfect for what we're making. So we're going to take out some of the things. I'm going to need 2 of these, one for each side. And got that one. Okay, one for each side. We're going to use one hook, one of these. Okay, and we're going to use one chain. I'm just going to use the one. And then we're going to take out, I found that the best was 3 jump rings. Okay, I'm not sure why, but oops, trying to open it on the wrong side, guys. 3 jump rings. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay. You can add as many jump rings as you want. I just like 3. I thought that gave me a nice balance to mine. Okay, so we're going to close that back up. All right, and then of course the big thing you're going to need is a zipper. Okay, so sorry about that. I'm going to use this zipper here, this purple one, because it matches my journal. So I did get something that matches my journal. Okay, so the first thing, I'm going to set my journal off to the side for just a second. So the first thing you're going to do, see here is the gap, and the wider your zipper, the more gap you're going to have. That's what happened on my cream one. I ended up with a big gap because the zipper itself was large. For the smaller zippers, this works even better for the smaller zippers. Okay, so what I'm going to do, this first part is the hardest part for the whole thing, really. I'm going to say that, and then I'm going to have problems throughout the whole thing. You just wait. But okay, so I put the 2 flappy things together at the very tip top up here, and I'm pinching them together with one hand. Okay, I have to hold those closed as much as possible. Sometimes it helps if you open your zipper a little bit. I'm going to place that on top, just like that. These are the ribbon crimps. Okay, in case you guys didn't know what those are called, they're called ribbon crimps. And another reason why my kit was $14, because there are cheaper ones, is because I wanted this collar. Okay, so if you want a different collar, I noticed they're a lot cheaper. Then I'm just going to take my flat nose pliers. They're not the round ones; they're flat surface. So I'm going to try and pinch without moving it. And that is so hard to do. See? So hard to do. That's why I said this is one of the hardest. I shouldn't say the hardest, because some of my some of these with the claws gave me trouble. Some of those did. So I shouldn't say this is the hardest, but usually this first piece is like the hardest thing to get on. So I'm just going to grab it and nope, missed. We're going to try it again, guys. One more time. Reposition it and try to cramp it. Okay, now I'm going to try and grab it from the side here and push down. There, we got it. Okay, see, I got that one. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to do that one more time. I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. Okay, put that back in there. Come on, slide back in there. I let go and I shouldn't have. It was my bad, guys. Okay. You're going to see all my bloopers. There we go. Now it's going to be harder to hold that together, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Okay, I'm just going to clamp that down. Okay, that is the hardest part right there, is just lining that up, because it just wants to fight. Now the other end is a breeze, but just the one with just the side with the zipper gives me all kinds of fits. I don't know why. That's why I said sometimes it's easier if you just open zipper up. Sometimes that helps. Okay, so I'm just reinforcing this, going back across to making sure all of the teeth are sunk in. And there we go. Okay, we got that side. Now, this is where I add my jump rings. I add 2 jump rings. Okay. So I'm just going to open it up. You pull it towards you on the right and push with your left. I'm going to slide that in here. Okay. I'm going to close it back up. Just like that. All nice and tidy. Okay, I'm going to grab one more jump ring on this side. This is the extra jump ring. You don't have to add this extra jumping ring, but I found it was easier for me to get my finger in there when I'm trying to open that hook thing. Okay, so this time I'm going to grab the hook, what do I call that? Clasp. I'm going to grab the clasp, slide it. There's a little tiny hole. These ones come with a little tiny hole at the bottom. Can you guys see that? And I'm just going to slide the jump ring in there and then slide it through that last jump ring we just used over here, and then close the whole thing back up. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to close it back up. Okay. All right. And then we have this side. Okay. Now, for the best results, it's probably best if you go ahead and add your chain and attach this. I'm missing a jump ring. I know I got 3 out. Well, it must have bounced. I'm going to have to grab me another jump ring. Oh, no, here it is. I found it. It was sitting right there. Okay, now I've lost it. Okay, I can't believe I just did that. I just flung it across my desk. No problem. They've given me plenty of jump rings, so I'm just going to grab another one. Sorry about that, guys. Set that off to the side. All right, now, so you could assemble this whole thing. You can apply this. In fact, let's go ahead and do that part so that I can show you what I'm talking about instead of just telling you. Okay, so I'm going to open up the jump ring and I'm going to attach it. Well, actually, I'm going to attach it to the chain first. I'm going to attach it, put the chain on, and then I'm going to attach that to the bottom, the top of that ribbon crimp. And I'm going to slide that in closed, hopefully. Okay. There we go. All right, so I got this side attached. Now you could go ahead and put your chain in right now if you want to, in order to measure this. But this is how I was measuring it. I take my journal and I place this approximately where I want it. Typically, I want this part to hang over so that all of the chain and everything is right here along this. But you could have it wherever you want. You could have it attached here. You could have it meet at the very edge. I just prefer mine to hang over just slightly, okay? So I'm going to put it right there. Oh, I did. And I forgot to tell you to grab a pair of sharp scissors. Okay, so I'm going to grab this, wrap it around my journal like this, like so. And we do not want to cut right at the join. Okay, we do not want to cut here. We want to cut back here so that we have a chance to put this on. Okay, let's see if I can show you where. Okay, so if we put this here, or approximately right there, then the chain will be right here, you see? So that's actually pretty accurate to where I want it. So I'm going to grab my scissors, making sure I do not cut anything inside my journal. A minute. Just want to double check that one more time, guys. Okay. Squeeze it as tightly as you can too whenever you're doing this, because the chain allows it to open, and that's what we want, but we want this to be tight. So I'm going to put it right here, kind of marking it with my finger. Now, these scissors are my fabric scissors, but I'm using them for this because they are my strongest and sharpest scissor. So that's why I'm using them. But so use your sharpest scissors, and it just usually glides right across the zipper like that. Okay, so now we have this extra, which I am going to be using as a scrap, and I have an idea for those, so you'll see those in the future. Okay, let me move that. All right, now I can move this out of my way, and we can attach this to this side. All we do is, now my cut's not very straight, but that's okay. It makes this ribbon crimp makes it look like it is, okay? So I'm going to hold that in place and clamp down. Okay, and then I'm going to rotate it around so I can crimp it from the other side. Okay, just making sure all the teeth of the ribbon crimp is clamped into there, especially right in the middle where that zipper is. Can you guys see right there where that zipper is? Really, you need to make sure that all of those little tiny teeth are sunk in there so that nothing gets under there. I usually do it from both sides so that I can ensure that everything's there. Now, I'm not really pushing up here on the top part, but you could if you wanted to. But you can see it kind of leaves like a little gap right there. You can use these and completely flatten this if you want, but I'm choosing not to. I kind of like that rounded look to it. All right, so now that is done. And let's go ahead and check, making sure I got the right measurement. It's always good to check, right? So bring it around and see, yep. Let me move my hand so you guys can see. See, and I would just open this and put it on the chain. Just attach it right there, okay? But we're going to take it one step further, and we are going to add some pretties to this. So the ones I have, I'm going to lay out is these ones that have like a little gem inside. They're gemstone ones. So I'm going to put them out. Now, how did it? Okay, so I use my cutting board because of the measurements. I lay my pattern out, and I leave my pattern out the whole time I'm adding these so that I can remember at intervals where to put everything, okay? So I'm going to start right there, and I'm just going to offset them. So let's see, I think it was 2. So I'm just going to go like this. Actually, I'll do the top row first. So I'm just going every 2 inches, I'm putting one of these. And on this pattern, I'm going big, I'm going small, big, small, big. Okay. That's just my preference on how I'm doing this one. Okay. All right. Now down below was small, big too, but it's slightly offset from the top row. So let's see. Need a big one and a small one. And one more small one. Did I have another small one? Yeah, here it is. Okay, like that. Okay, so once I've decided what I like pattern-wise, which I really like this one, then I just start and pick up, and well, this is not measured out very well. Let me move it just slightly. There we go. I make sure, hopefully you guys can see, way over here, let me move my mat just way over here, I have this in at the 2. Okay, so this is my 2-inch mark, and I have the top of the ribbon crimp. I try to remember exactly where I put it. Okay, I try to remember so that every time I pick it up, I can put it right back down in the same place. So I'm just going to move this one straight onto my zipper like that and push down. Okay, now I lift mine up. Oops, see, this is why my gem just moved. I'm gonna put my gem back. I have to be very careful when I pick my gem up. That wasn't right. That was supposed to be a big one. There, got it. Okay, so I put my gem, I push it in. See, so can you guys see the little tongs? Try to hold it up. The little tongs now sticking straight through and I just take my fingernail and close them. Close it. Oops. Normally I could take them and close them. Let me try it again. I lost it. It's different whenever you're on camera. Okay, my zipper is in my way, so I may have to close my zipper. Okay, I'm just using my fingernails to close the clamps, but can you guys see? Once I get further down, you guys will be able to see them much easier. There we go. Okay, so that one is completely closed. And then I take the flat ones again, and I go over it just to make sure that all of them are closed. Like that, so that there's nothing there that's going to harm you. Okay, and then I lay it back down. Sorry that one took so long. Lining it back up with a 2 so that I can see exactly where to move my next one. So I put my next one in place, and this time I'm going to lift from the bottom so I'm not hitting any of them. And pushing that through. There. Can you guys see the tongies again? And I'm just, hopefully this time you guys can see, I'm just going to use my fingernail, push towards the middle. Okay, some of my fingernails are not very strong. And there, just like that. And it creates like a little kind of star pattern, or kind of like a flower pattern even. It's kind of pretty actually on this side too. Okay, and just use that to do that. Okay, and I'm just going to continue all the way down. Lining it back up with a 2 so I can see exactly where I'm supposed to be. Now the big ones I found are much easier to do because the tongs are bigger, longer. So, and if you don't have strong fingernails, you can also use, oops, move that. You can also use your pliers to push it down. Okay. So, trying not to move my beads, guys. Okay. Towards the middle and towards the middle, just like that. Okay. And then I clamp it shut. There we go. Okay, now laying it back down. Oops, I moved one out of place. If you move one, try to put it back before you move on, okay? Okay, and let's see, line it up. There we go. Okay, it's throwing me off. Okay, I'm just going to push it and lifting this time and trying to push it in as I lift so that it secures it. Okay. These things are in my way. See, this isn't a problem if you're not filming. You can just move your thing towards you. You don't have to worry about everything catching. Sorry if I'm off camera. My chain keeps catching on that. Okay. And there we go. This normally doesn't take very long. Forgot. Keep forgetting I'm filming. That's not good. Okay, just squeezing those. There we go. Just like that. If you don't have strong fingernails, these really do help too, because I use this for all the other ones. I'm just using my fingernails because this time because I thought it would be faster. I'm not sure that it is, but lifting. Yeah, the small ones are finicky. They don't want to go through the fabric as much. And the tongues are a little bit smaller, so it's a little harder to get my fingernails on. There we go. And even if you just get them started and then use that tool, it's a lot faster too. Okay, lining it back up. I thought you guys would enjoy something new with zippers. I was going to add them. I had another idea. I was going to add them to my pages. I was going to, so that you could zip up your page. But then I was like, well, you know, not everybody has a sewing machine, and I was going to use a sewing machine. Not everybody has a sewing machine to do that. So this one, I thought, you know, everybody kind of could access and do. Just go find some zippers. I got mine at my local thrift store. They had a bunch of zippers. I don't know why people weren't using zippers, but there was a bunch of them, and I just picked out the colors that matched my journals, but with a couple extras. In fact, my daughter saw these when I was making one, and it was the pink one, and she decided it made a really lovely choker. So as I'm making it, she snitched it, and so I ended up having to give her that one. And she has hers plain, but it fit perfectly around her neck, because she's tiny, so it fit around her neck. And so I was like, "Yep, you can have it, I guess so." But so I had to make another pink one, but it looks so cute on her. It really did. So you could these are makes great jewelry, I guess. I need oh, I was just thinking, if you didn't want to use zippers, you could use lace and do the exact same thing. But this is for the letter Z for zipper. Okay, well, almost done, guys. It's coming along really easily now compared to, got one more troublesome one, then two easies. Just trying to get that on there. Yeah, the small ones are really pains. Okay, almost got it. You can see my nail bed is getting bad, so I really should have just used this one. Okay, still lining it up to make sure I'm grabbing things in the same spot. I mean, having this laid out, the grid, is perfect for, you could even just do it with a ruler if you wanted to. But it's perfect for laying these out in a design. Sometimes on those, I went over a couple different designs to see which one looked better. And having the grid really showed me where I was supposed to put everything. There we go. Just push that through. There we go. Tighten that back up. And one more to go. And then we can attach it to our journal. Even on the last one, I try to line it up to make sure it's where I want it to be. Okay. I'm going to show you. See, whenever you're using these, I like to push the notch towards me like that. Okay, so I will rotate it to get these to lay down and push towards me like that. Okay, and then there we go. Okay, so that is all done. Now I will add it to my journal, wrap it around, and I have to grab the hook thing on this side with my broken fingernail, so that's not good. Squeeze it as tightly as you can, and then just hook it and let go. Isn't that cute? And this chain kind of dangles. And you can put different things off of here too if you want some charms or something. There it is. What do you guys think of it? I think that is so cute, and I love how it, I'm going to show you the unzipped version. There we go. And spread them apart a little bit to give a different look completely. Maybe this one should go this way just a hair more. I'm finicky. Anyway, I think that's cute. So I hope you guys enjoyed this last ABC journal. I'm thinking about doing the ABC journals again next year. I'm not really sure. I may take a year off and come back the year after that. Depends. It all depends. My health wasn't as good this year, so I really had a lot of ideas and a lot of plans, and I didn't get to them. So I kind of like this new year coming up next year to actually get some of those done. But we'll see, because I really did enjoy making these, and I will be doing a final flip through of all four of these here very soon. Okay, so you guys will see them all complete and everything. So thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I hope you guys have a blessed day.